Nothing says you care like crypto.
Parents even sad about? Did our parents even want kids? I was 40 before someone asked how I was doing. You're gonna be dumb, you better be tough. Some of us didn't survive this childhood. No cereal, no breakfast, no lunch. Dug through garbage cans in the summer. And I did tell him these posts are for fun, but I'm very aware that people did not have everything that we're complaining about. Very aware. Not until TikTok did I realize this was a generation of neglected kids. I have no hate for my mom. She was just trying to survive herself. Because of this generation, I'm just waiting for people to do me wrong. I survived because I sucked it up, pushed it deep inside, and locked it away. We survived because we weren't given the option, we had to figure it out. You learn to obey out of fear, and you no longer trust the people you were supposed to, learning you can't depend on anybody at an early age. Surviving childhood was my biggest accomplishment. I will say I've been able to message a lot of these people that left sad comments. All of them have broken a generational curse. I mean, they did it. They did it. And I mean, that's some, and I am proud of those people because that'd be hard. Sorry, this was the good and the bad, right?
Gen X is traumatized. There are many Gen Xers who are probably listening right now and they'll like to say, oh, suck it up, Buttercup, because they are traumatized kids. They are people who were neglected. Some were more resilient than others. Many just basically developed a cynical life view on life and they just laugh at everything as a result. Not being able to truly confront their childhood trauma until much later on in life. You know, even though I really don't like the guy right now, Bill Burr, he actually mentioned it in one of his comedy specials where he pointed out that, you know, he started to experience like panic attacks and he felt like he was going to, you know, like he was about to exit this reality and he didn't know what was going on. And then he realized, oh, it's all the childhood trauma stuff coming back. You know, one moment he's talking about, you know, just look at the way we were raised back in the 60s and the 70s. You know, our parents, they didn't give a damn about us. We were just like, like we were treated like office furniture, stuff like that, you know, and look how we turned out. And then suddenly, you know, in the next breath he's like, yeah, there was a lot of trauma. I didn't even realize it. That's where all of this panicking is suddenly coming from at 50 years old. Guys, it's a horrible reality, but it's a reality that many Gen Xers still are not able to confront. I didn't realize I was a broken toy until a Gen Xer told me at, you know, pushing 40 that, oh, there's something wrong with all of us. None of us are normal. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand why Gen X is still traumatized, why they are just traumatized kids that are now adults. And don't forget to follow us on Rumble. Most of our content is now coming out exclusively on Rumble. I know some of you guys don't like that. I don't care. If you want to watch our content on Rumble, you can head over to our Rumble channel and follow us over there. It's linked in the description of the video. We'll go ahead and jump right into the video after a message from Angry's Crypto Academy. So don't forget to check out Angry's Crypto Academy. Hard times have arrived. ATMs will stop working and banks will chain the doors. Protect your wealth and safeguard your future with crypto. Angry's Crypto Academy offers comprehensive courses, expert investment guides, and our exclusive crypto blueprints to teach you how to buy, sell, trade, and invest in crypto. You'll learn exactly which coins have the potential to create new millionaires and how to spot the best investment opportunities. Don't miss out. Secure your financial future now. The Academy is linked in the description of the video. Now let's go ahead and jump right into the first video.
From Gen X is emotionally void? Like, really, what?
Hey, sugar, it's me again, the Gen Xer. This is what happened to us. The boomers that y'all idolized, they're our parents. They raised us. We come from a generation of children that were seen and not heard. If you spoke without being spoken to first, or you were listening to adult conversation, or in the room where adults were talking, we got beat. You got smacked in the mouth. We had to pretty much be independent and raise ourselves. If we cried, we got something to cry for. We were traumatized as children. Many of us were left to raise ourselves and help raise our siblings. I'm the eldest of my siblings, so I had a key to the house at 7. I knew how to cook meals at 7, and I'm not talking about put shit in the microwave, baby. We didn't grow up with microwaves. We had to bang them pots. So I knew how to make a pot of beans. I knew how to make cornbread, greens. I knew how to fry chicken at 10. Okay? I knew how to change diapers because I had to, or else we got whooped. I come from the generation where crack affected mothers, and so I had an aunt who was a crackhead who abandoned her 4 children, and I had to help my grandmother raise them. Okay? That's what happened to us. The boomers traumatized us. They traumatized us. And as a result, when we had you guys, the millennials, we didn't want to traumatize y'all. So we pretty much let y'all be independent. We allowed y'all to have an opinion. We allowed you to speak when not spoken to. So you guys are, in a sense, kind of like the boomers, because we were so traumatized that we just kind of, we mentally checked out. I'm in therapy again. Okay, I went to therapy after my divorce to try to address some of that trauma. And now here I am, divorced 10 years, 11 years out, and some of those traumas are being triggered and resurfaced. And so now I'm back in therapy again. So you guys idolize them for that attitude, but what y'all don't realize is they fucked us up. Yeah, baby, they fucked us up, especially if you're from the South. Okay, we got our asses beat in the South. Switches, extension cords, a pot or a pan, a backhand. Baby, it wasn't nothing for us to get knocked unconscious as children. Okay? So that's why we kind of disappeared. That's why we ain't having no barbecues and all that. We don't want a people. We're tired. Okay? Mentally tired. And we avoid people and we avoid shit like that because we don't want to be triggered. Okay? But
You see, guys, like I said, there are those who admit it. I told you, Gen Xers are traumatized. Okay, I was raised by baby boomer parents. All right, I am a Zennial, and you know what's very interesting? I will see what's these idiots' name. I'll see it's especially millennials trying to group me in with them. I guess millennials don't comprehend this. There are two sections of the millennial generation. They're the ones who were born in the 90s, and then they're the ones who were born in the 80s. Okay? The ones who were born in the 80s, most of those people were born to baby boomer parents, or the vast majority of them. The ones the ones who were born in the 90s were born to, very often, older Gen Xers. This is the reason why some people have Gen X parents, some millennials have Gen X parents, and other millennials have baby boomer parents. It really depends on where you were born, on what side of the generation you were born on. For those born in the very early part of the 1980s, they are known as Zennials. The Zennial is a micro generation from 1977 through 1983. Those are considered late Gen Xers. My father is 70 years old. My mother is pushing 70. My parents are hardcore baby boomers. These people were extreme narcissists. They are sociopaths. They don't have feelings for anyone and they can never admit that they are wrong. You have to understand, a boomer, no matter how bad things get, they will gaslight you. They will never take accountability for anything. Now they're saying that every family traumatizes their kids. Every kid will leave a family traumatized. The only question is how much, and how much will they allow it to affect them in life? They were bad people. And when people wonder why Gen X has essentially walked away from society, removed themselves from the conversation, it's because they are tired. They are effing tired, and they want to be left alone. You have to understand, the boomers destroyed our trust in people. We don't trust people. Our parents were our first bullies. And as a result of that, it was extremely damaging to us. It's sad to say this, but one of the reasons why some kids were so nasty in the 80s, like we grew up during that generation where we had bullies. One of the reasons why so many kids were likely bullies is because their parents were also bullies. It's not like in modern day society where, you find out that your kid is bullying some other kids at school and you immediately correct that behavior and you let them know it's not okay, right? Today it's different. Back then, a lot of these young people that would go to school and they would bully others, they tried to characterize it like these are just bad people with bad personalities. But when you watch Stranger Things, for example, there's a character named Billy. And Billy is characterized as a bad person. He's terrible to his little sister. He's just a all around mean person, right? The reality was, Billy was a traumatized kid. His father was putting hands on him. His father would basically come at him over anything. When he passed away, we can pretty much deduce his father did not care. His father's mindset was probably along the lines of, well, now I'm free, I can move on, don't have that dead weight to deal with anymore, and could go and find someone else and have more kids. I'm still young. That was the boomer mentality. If you passed away, they did not care. Boomers genuinely did not care if their kids passed away. They just moved on. It's like they were puppies, except they cared less about their kids than people usually care about their pets. We grew up during that generation where they had to remind, like, it would come on at 10 o'clock. The news would come on, and they would say, the first thing they would say is, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?" Because the boomers did not care. Most of the time, they had no idea where their kids were. This was the 80s and 90s. They did not care. And the thing is, we grew up during very, very dangerous times. Extremely, you think it was bad now? Oh, no, no, no. Especially back in the 1980s in New York. I have said this before and I will say it again. I have never seen more white substance users in my entire life than in the 1980s. I'm telling y'all, people think that it's a black community thing. No, it is not. You have no idea how traumatizing the 1980s were. I remember my father almost being, I don't want to say whatever, but like, some guys like, "Hey man, you have the time," some white substance user. "Hey man, you have the time." And my father gets frightened, and he was armed back then, and he reaches for his, what, and the guy's like, "No, no." He's like, "No, no." And the guy's like, "Ha ha 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 ha." He was taking us to church. He was taking us to church, dragging us to church, and he was armed going to church. That was New York in the 1980s. So I really want you to understand how bad our childhoods actually were. The things we were exposed to, guys, our neighbors were just passing away, getting taken out. Like literally, like, 1 minute you're like, 1 minute the kid next door that's really bright and bubbly and has this future ahead of him is like, is like riding his bike outside. The next thing you hear is that he's gone. What happened to him? He didn't make it. He got over nothing. Back in the 80s, people were petty as hell. All right? They would take they would exit you from this realm over 50 cents. It was a collective experience that we went through. Those were horrible times. And our parents did not care. They tossed us out of the house, and that was it. Because they did not like us while they were having a good time. These are people who had kids for selfish reasons. And then you wonder why Gen X doesn't want to deal with anyone, why Gen X just wants to be left the hell alone. That's why I keep telling you all to focus on getting your focus on money, focus on crypto. Don't even focus on relationships. Forget about society. You're dealing with society that absolutely hates you, does not like you, and wishes you were not here. It's hard to hear it, it's sad to say, but it's the truth and it needs to be said. This society never liked any of us, and that's it. And the boomers will just tell you to suck it up and stop talking about it. They're extremely bad people. And I'm telling you right now, it's not a matter of like they're too old to change. They were like this as children. All right? If you understand the history of the boomers, what they did, how they used their large generation, their large numbers to vote for whatever they wanted. These people actually voted to lower the drinking age. And then after they lowered it, they began getting into a bunch of conflicts on the highway, which resulted in the formation of MAD, Mothers Against Driving while tipsy. And then after the boomers had all turned 21, they then decided to raise the drinking age again. So after they all had their fun and they were now above 21, they then raised the drinking age and then began condemning everyone else. I just can't take it. That's why I say focus on getting your money. Focus on getting your money and getting right with God. And when I say money, I mean crypto and investing, because half of all boomers have no retirement savings at all. And then 80% of those who do have retirement savings have less than $100,000. These people are the fastest group of people in the United States right now becoming homeless. There's a reason for that, because they lived such easy lives. And many of them are desperate. Many of them, a lot of them, those of them that can, are plotting their exit from the United States. They're fleeing the US because they're broke. And they're going over to countries like Romania, the Philippines, going around and getting drunk over there, walking around with their plump bellies. These are just unbelievable people. If you think you've missed the boat on Bitcoin, think again. The crypto world is exploding with new opportunities. And while Bitcoin has already made its millionaires, there's still a chance for you to get in early on the next big wave. I've put together an exclusive guide on 4 altcoins that could change the game and change your financial future. These aren't just hype coins. These are real projects with groundbreaking technology and massive upside potential. This is your chance to get in before they hit the mainstream. But listen, crypto isn't just about getting rich, it's about freedom. Freedom from traditional banks, freedom from government-controlled money, and freedom to take back control of your life. That's why I created Angry's Crypto Academy. When you join the academy, you'll learn everything you need to know about cryptocurrency, how to buy, sell, and trade the right way, how to spot the coins that can truly take off, and how to use crypto to achieve real economic freedom. And here's the best part. When you subscribe, you'll get a free copy of my crypto blueprint. This is packed with valuable tips and strategies to help you get started, and it's yours just for joining. The link is in the description below. Don't wait around and miss another opportunity like Bitcoin. Those who act now will be the ones who win big. So if you're ready to take back control of your finances and start your journey to freedom, join Angry's Crypto Academy today. Let's make it happen.
Creatives. So recently, a terrible story broke about a mother leaving her young kids alone for nearly a week. And that's bad. It's terrible, no doubt. It's funny because Gen Xers, of course, made great points in the comment section saying, look, when we were young, if our parents left us with food, water, a Nintendo, and some money, we'd be straight. We'd be so straight that when they came back after a week, we heard that lock jiggle, we'd be like, God dang, y'all back already? Feels like y'all just left. Dadgone, we got to deal with these chores again? Don't y'all got somewhere else to go? Like, Alaska seems nice this time of year. Let me get back on this Mario duck hunt situation. We'd be good. Gen X don't scare easy, man. Gen Xers don't scare easy. You know why we don't scare easy? Let me tell you why. Our cartoons used to try to scare us to death. Some of them tried to traumatize us. And we're kind of traumatized to this day because of that. Our pop stars turned into werewolves randomly. We had some of the scariest horror movies. We do not scare easily. Leave us home for a week? We're good. We're good. And I know there's some freaking scary things that I'm forgetting, so you genius musicologists in the comment section, please leave other scary things that Gen Xers had to deal with, because we were doing the most. As normal, I love y'all. Peace.
I mean, guys, here's the thing. We're still traumatized. And no one actually cares, and it's hard. Guys, I don't know. The boomers seem to think that Gen X is going to bail them out, or the older millennials are going to bail them out, or the millennials in general are going to bail them out. And I don't see it happening. I look at my own family, and this is not unique to me. There is no family. The baby boomers destroyed the family unit. They made sure not to create any intergenerational wealth. Previous generations worked their entire lives to give their children a better future, and they passed on wealth to them. They shared that wealth with them so that they would have a foothold in life. Most baby boomers did not do that. They had the entire I got mine, so I got mine. If you didn't get yours, it's your fault. That's their attitude. Or I got mine and my kids got theirs, so it's your fault if you didn't get yours. They're extremely cold, mean, vindictive, spiteful people. And it's hard to hear that for a lot of people. It's hard to hear that, but it's the truth. Our parents, the boomers, were our first bullies. The kind of trauma that they inflicted upon us is horrific. And I'll make it this. And they stole our futures while we were still in diapers. All of this, most people watching my video right now don't understand that there's a future debt. There's a future debt versus the present debt. So, for example, we have the national debt, and then we have future debt payments. Future debt and national debt are they're not entirely the same thing. When we say national debt, we're talking about the immediate national debt that has to be paid now, that we have to pay interest on now. There's another section. There's another ton of money in the trillions that is going to begin coming due into the future, maybe in like 10 between like 10 to 20 years. And that amount of money has to also be paid back. The boomers use these crazy accounting tricks to allow them to move debt to the future and then say that, well, future generations will simply pay for it because by then there should be more than enough money to pay for it. It's insanity. It's insanity. You don't know how badly boomers have rigged things. Guys, this stuff is con artist level stuff, okay? Ponzi scheme stuff. This is why Elon said they called Social Security nothing more than a big Ponzi scheme. Don't expect the boomers to show any empathy. It's like expecting the bank robber who went in and stole all of your money from the bank. It's like expecting them to feel sorry for you. It's not going to happen. They're just going to look at you and call you a bandejo. and gaslight you and tell you, well, I got mine. It's your fault you didn't get yours. And you're like, you stole the money. You stole all of our money. That wasn't your money. That was my money. And I don't know what you're talking about. That was not your money. You stole everyone's money. Listen to me. I got mine. You didn't get yours. Or if you use facts, if you bring facts and you would like, listen, I'll show you the receipts. You get the boomer lead paint stare where they just basically, their mouth hangs open and their eyes just go, then their eyes turn dark. And it's just, they just look at you like, and it's like, Gen Xers know what I'm talking about. The boomer lead paint stare. It's insane. I don't know what the hell it is. The term basically comes from, maybe they were exposed to lead when they were growing up, and that's the reason why they do it. But that's a load of BS because as Gen Xers or Zennials or older millennials, we were exposed to all of that stuff, and we're still kicking. Those of us that did survive, because many of us did not survive. I'm just telling you guys, the boomers were some truly they did some horrible things to us. And Gen X is a traumatized generation. And that's the reason why so many Gen Xers just want to be left alone. It's a combination of being tired. It's a combination of being tired and also, being traumatized and not wanting to deal with anyone else's crap. Because they're skeptical. They're basically very skeptical of people. They're cynical of everyone and everything. And really, they just want to be left alone under their rock. That's why you have a lot of Gen Xers who were extroverts like me. They were extroverts in high school, and now people would think that they are introverts in their 40s and 50s. No, it's not that they're introverts. They just don't want shit from anyone. They've had enough. They had enough of it growing up. They've had enough of it over the course of their lives. They don't need any more. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.
Nothing says you care like crypto. Nothing can compare. Nothing says you care like crypto. Oh, nothing can compare to crypto.